Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It has been a little bit of a while. I've been away from the charts. However, the markets have always done their thing. Regardless of whether we're trading every day or not, they will always be moving. So here's a quick update on what to expect moving forward. Now, a breakdown of what has happened today. Pretty interesting price action in my opinion. We've had some beautiful drops to the downside, but more importantly, all they're doing is recovering previous vectors in the zone, and they've come back down towards the wick in the chart that we always anticipate them to try and come back into. Okay, so you look left, they've only come back into this range right here, and we've been talking about this range for a little while, where in the sense that they like to return to previous wicks in the chart because these are the imbalances in and around the zones. Now listen, this is where it can get a little bit interesting. Okay, the basis of price action right now, it is showing a potential W formation that is still in the progress of being developed. Okay, now the only way that this pattern right here gets invalidated is if this zone gets broken and price goes beyond this area here. All right, so hypothetically, if price continues to drop, comes down into this range, comes back up, happy days. If it comes back down again and takes this range, and if it spends too much time in this area here and trades lower and lower, then it would be an invalidated pattern. So then we would be looking for price action to the left, and we would know that this green vector candle down here, which we have been talking about and we've mentioned many a times, could be a possibility that Bitcoin or even Ethereum could reach that zone. Okay, now if we go over to a Bitcoin itself, we will see the basis of that right there. So look, there it is for Bitcoin, that green vector candle. Now, this is only if Bitcoin does break down and go lower. All right, so we are still what we understand to be in the development of a potential play that could work out in our favor, ladies and gentlemen. It could work out in our favor, but what do we need to see? Now, this is aimed at the holders. I'm going to get to the scalpers and the day traders in a short second. All right. But for the holders, you want to see price staying in and around this area. This is all you need it to do. It needs to stay in this zone. If it goes beyond this zone and breaks below this wick chart this wick right here, there's a good chance it's likely to come into this range. Now remember, the pattern can still be valid even if price does break beyond this zone, but comes straight back into it. That's what you want it to do. You want it to come straight back in. In other words, you want the candle that initiated the breakdown lower, you want at least the next candle to come back up and close into it. All right, so you want it to finish in this area. Then you'll want to be paying attention. You wouldn't be going long from that instance. You would wait for price to come back up a little bit. And if it does decide to drop aggressively from this point, the moving average would be quite far away from price. Now, this channel itself focuses exclusively on mean reversion. It's one of the simple strategies that the market maker himself openly admitted and said that he does. Look at Alameda Research. They said it. We've got the document to prove it. Go back in the streams. I just can't bring it up right now. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for my holders and where you guys think Bitcoin, at what point do you decide to accumulate more Bitcoin? I guess when price is dropping down, ladies and gentlemen, you've just got to be cautious. Do you have the liquidity to be able to withstand price dropping to the downside so aggressively? Okay, keep an eye out on this zone right here. The green vector candle is where the previous attempt by the market maker that encouraged traders to go short from, and of course triggered the longs to the upside from this zone. So why would they not hesitate to go down back to that area to trigger the same thing? Okay. Of course, if they do decide to bleed away from this range right here, then we're looking at other vector candles in the zones, which could take us down towards the 20K range. All right. Now, I'm not interested if Bitcoin can go beyond the 20K range from this current point because it's only, what, $18,000 difference in the chart. Bitcoin can move from, what, 37,500 all the way up to 45,000. It can do a nearly 10K drop or rise in a day's trading, a couple of days trading. So a drop down to 18K in one day would be phenomenal. All right. It could happen over a series of 3 to 4 days. So just accept that. There's a possibility that it could actually do that in one of the times in the marketplace. I'm not saying it's going to happen soon. I'm not saying it's going to happen now. What I'm saying to you is it's always have the idea of uncertainty in the back of your minds, because we're always trying to make sense of this thing and we always seek guarantees in this game. And there's no such thing as a guarantee when it comes to trading. Okay. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go down into the smaller time frames for my day traders, for my scalpers, just to understand where we are right now with price action. So this is Bitcoin. I'm going to be bringing up Ethereum in a short moment. So the idea for you guys when it comes to trading on the shorter time frames is on the Monday, we always see a false move happen. Now, that false move happened today. They initiated the move to the upside, stop hunt rise. They come and tap these previous pools of liquidity up here and the wicks where they triggered retail traders to go long from, and then they dropped price back down again. Okay, now they haven't taken the range daily low. That's a positive sign, but they are still trading below the 1 hour 50 EMA, and the 5 and the 13 EMA are trading below it as well. We have made an attempt. Listen to this. We've broke below the psychological low and we came back up above it in the same session. All right, now we're trading below it. Now we still got at least 2 hours, all right, an hour and a half until the new daily candle forms. Is it possible that Bitcoin could try and come back up into this range again? Because the closer it gets towards the psychological range, the more consistent it would be with the market maker's area of spread on where he wants to mark up price and prepare it to go higher. Okay? That's if he does decide to break above the psychological ranges. All right? Because all we know is they could actually mark price up towards the psychological low and reject it yet again. There would be this recovery of this red vector candle, which they've done 50% of, and now they've pulled away from that zone yet again. Okay? Pulling up the book map for a split second, ladies and gentlemen, we are understanding that Bitcoin has got a lot of liquidity at 37,800, okay? So there's a good chance that Bitcoin is likely to try and take that range, okay, and then bounce away from it because orders keep on stacking up in this area here. So about 152 to 284, 54 Bitcoin keeps appearing in that zone. Now look, 35,000 has 279 Bitcoin. Go even further down, we've got 589, 30K. 589 Bitcoin at 30K, so it's still stagnated. It's not removing that liquidity. They may anticipate price to go back into that range at some point. So we need to keep an eye out on this range, ladies and gentlemen. Between the 41K and, of course, the 30K range, we need to be paying attention to what price does in that area, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be, in essence, the turning point in the charts. Okay? Now, go even further down to the 15-minute time frame for my guys looking to trade in the Asian session. If we notice what happened in last night's Asian session, they marked price down low and showed an aggressive move to the downside. How many times have you heard me say it? Asia, UK and US, they are always going to set price up for each other. Asia sets the move to the downside. Here we go. Check this. 1, 2, 3 hits down to the lows, okay? This low didn't get taken out from this point right here, and it initiated a move back up in the UK brink session. All right, so the UK finalized the move for Asia and brought price all the way back up into this previous range right here over the weekend. More importantly, the US session had the luxury of being able to initiate a stop hunt rise, which was right here, and then they recovered all of the session from the UK move as well. So over these past 24 hours or so, the markets, in essence, the market makers, liquidity providers, exchanges, you name it, they have been working in sync with each other to help each other realize profits and take advantage of retail traders trying to go long and short in and around these zones. Okay? Now, given what we can see right now, they have made an aggressive move up to recover this area here. That's really important because we can translate this into two different ways. They're either going to recover this area here at speed so they can come back down again and grab the liquidity by traders believing it's going to continue higher, or they're going to try and trap traders to believe price is going higher, bring it back down, hit their liquidation points, and then in the next 3-4 minutes, we're going to see price recover this candlestick right here and move higher again. All right? So for my day traders, what you're looking for in tonight's Asian session, you're waiting to see if this low right here gets established. Given that it's in with last week's low right here, there's a good chance that we might see an element of confluence in this area here where we see vector candles appearing and the moving averages start to flatten out, where we would anticipate them to expand to move higher at a later point. Okay? Now, with that being said, guys, make your way over to the 5-minute time frame just to understand what price action is up to. That's where you're going to see the development of moves. Look at how they move away from the moving average and come back into the moving average. What you're looking for is you're looking for the time that price is spending in this range going into the start of the next daily candle. The longer it stays in this range right here and continues up above the 550 EMA, sorry, the 5-minute 50 EMA, there is a good possibility that price will likely come back up into this range right here and test the psychological low one more time. if it gets to that point, ladies and gentlemen, we will know where we stand with Bitcoin if it's going to continue on into the next session. Because quite frankly, if you look at the daily time frame itself, Bitcoin has taken a massive hit to the downside. All right, so here we go. It has taken a nice little move to the downside, but it's staying contained within this range. We do have the wick right here that needs to be recovered. And a lot of people have anticipated in the past. They've said, yeah, Tino, where's the wick? It's not getting recovered. It's not getting recovered. All right, it didn't recover it in the same session or a couple of sessions after. But I can promise you that they're likely to come back down to this wick because of how close they are to it. If they don't make their way down to this wick and they recover price back up ever so slightly, that's a good sign that we could be on the end of this move to the downside. However, until that happens, we are all going on the bias or on the basis that the market makers are looking to mark down price. What's interesting is this. The high block itself is showing a lot of liquidation points that are appearing in and around the, where is it? Here we go. The high block chart itself is showing that there are a lot of short liquidation points in the chart that have yet to be realized. Okay, so they're leaving their money in there and the market maker doesn't even look like he wants to try and make his way back towards that zone just yet. Let's understand the psychology of what's going on in the charts. Okay, think about it like this. The market maker doesn't want to scare away retail traders from removing their liquidity to the downside. Sorry, doesn't want them to remove the liquidity that they have committed in the charts. Man, this takes absolutely forever. All right. So what the market maker likes to do is he likes to initiate these little moves to the upside to get them feeling a little bit scared so that they can actually move up their leverage points, their liquidation points and their margins, maybe add a few more positions because they're of the belief that price is going to go lower. Okay, and granted, price can actually go lower. Remember what I've said to you when it comes to establishing the trend. All right, if the clock on the time is showing 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then it implies that momentum is favoring higher prices. If it's pointing 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it's implying that momentum is favoring lower prices. If it's flat at 3 o'clock, it means there's no momentum in the charts. Price seems to be holding in and around the 50 EMA. So all my day traders, just keep an eye out on what Asia does tonight, because that's going to be the fundamental basis of what happens for the rest of this week. Monday, they've initiated a nice move down, up, and then down yet again, and they're still back into the same range that they last stopped from last night in the Asian session going into the UK session. So Asia might actually try and follow through and move higher. They could even bring it all the way back down and recover this previous wick right here and make their way towards the green vector candles down towards this zone right here. Forgive my charts, how they're all over the place, but it's just helping you guys understand how to utilize the hybrid system. So, ladies and gentlemen, mad love and respect to you. I'll be back on again tomorrow at 2 p.m. to bring in the New York Open. I'll also be doing the London Open tomorrow morning, roughly between 8:30 and 9:30. So expect a video in and around about that time. Other than that, mad love and respect. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch up with you in the streams tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, gang. Peace.